Okay, so I'm really excited today because we finally get to test the NIO ES8, and here it is. So this is probably the cleanest dash that I have seen in any car that I've reviewed, and that is kind of the philosophy of NIO. This is minimalism, and there's no frippery, there's no nonsense basically. Everything's clean lines. I can only see the important things, and I'm not being cluttered up with hundreds of buttons. On here there's like 7 buttons, and that is it. And there you go. Here's NOMI. And this is the smart assistant who will help me do a few things like turn on the air conditioning, turn off the air conditioning, let me turn on certain songs and direct me home. So that's kind of a neat touch, and we'll go into more detail of that in a minute. But in general, this is a very high gloss screen, and I've also got a heads-up display which just shows my speed. Obviously at the moment it's saying 0. And if I've got the navigation on, it tells me to go left and right, and so on and so forth. So it's actually probably one of the best interiors that I've been in a Chinese car. This is a $60,000 luxury SUV, and I'm glad they haven't gone to town with making it all ridiculous. I mean, I think BYD's have gone a bit mental, but it's all in here and it's nice and simple. My drive, I've only got 3 drive modes. So I've got reverse, I go up, drive, go down, I've got park and push in the button there. So that's very simple. There's only 2 buttons here for the touchscreen, and if I need anything, then NOMI will help me. Hey NOMI. Hi NOMI.
Hey.
See? Pretty neat. This is quite smart. This is the NIO key. There is no key. That's it. And it's got 4 buttons on there, so the unlock, boot, sound and the lock key. It's super light, and you just put it down here when you go driving, and that's it. So this is NOMI, and NOMI is our smart assistant who will respond to our commands. And so NOMI only speaks Chinese, and let's just test out to see what he can do. So, hey NOMI.
Hey.
我想去人民广场。
我们去人民广场吗？
对。And then on my screen down here,
要选择哪条路？常规路线，无收费。方案3，你也可以直接开始导航。
It's telling me that, it's giving me the directions basically, so I can start heading there now. Let's see what else NOMI can do. Hey NOMI.
Hey.
关空调。
好的，这就关闭前排空调。
And then the air conditioning has gone off. Hey NOMI.
在呢。
开空调。
好的，这就打开前排空调。
And on comes the air conditioning again. And then one more thing it can do is to help me play my music. So, hey NOMI.
怎么了？
我要听 Frank Sinatra.
正在播放的是 Johnny Cash 的 Thanks a Lot.
Well, it's gone to Johnny Cash because I don't think quite understood him. Everything has been thought through really well in this car. Again, the boot, it's very simple. It's not like the Build Your Dreams, which has Build Your Dreams across the back. It's got a simple logo here in Chinese for Weilai, which is NIO in Chinese. Their lovely logo up here, and this is the Founders Edition, so it's got a small badge down there. Again, simply open the boot, press here. Obviously I can't be bothered to open it myself. Big spacious boot, and then a simple close to to close it again. So as this is the Founders Edition, it does have 7 seats, and these are tucked underneath here, which doesn't leave you a lot of boot space, but this is in the 5-seat configuration. There's plenty of room in the back, but it's quite a flat floor, so I'm not sure how comfortable it would be on a long journey. Move all this out of the way. So here I am in the back of the Nio, and I do have a lot of space actually, very generous leg room, but again it's quite a flat floor, so I don't know how comfortable it would be on a long journey. But it's well thought out. I wouldn't really want to be in this middle seat because that is small. But plenty of light coming in. I've got the huge roof light, which lets a lot of sunlight in, which is nice. And I've got my own air conditioning controls up here, my own light, and in general it's quite comfortable. Cabin is very spacious in here. Got nice clean layout here, big doors. It feels solid, very solid, and it's got this neat, if you can see through here, this neat hole through here. Obviously there's no gearbox or no gears, so slip, I don't know, chuck drinks down there or something. And this centre console is very nice. It's properly stitched leather, and it's real leather, and it's properly stitched. None of that fake stuff that we've seen in some of the other cars. And driving position can be adjusted. The passenger seat, in fact, can almost lie all the way back, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. So I think you might be able to see here, it's got this lovely footrest, and the seat actually fully reclines back. So if we just get in, and already it's pretty far back, but we can adjust it, not like that, all the way back. See ya. I could literally just fall asleep here and go along. As you can see, there's not really a glove box here. I think that's why there's this storage space down here, big door, cards as well, so you can put lots of things in there, but there's no actual passenger side storage compartment, but you know, no loss really. And this is all lovely air conditioning vents just in front of me as I'm sweating, and it'll cool me down, which is great. So here we are, finally get to try the Nio. It's been a long time coming. I've wanted to drive this car for quite a while, so here we are. I've driven down somewhere remote in Pudong, and we're going to take it for a little spin. So I've already driven about 150k, but let's take it for a spin around here. So I'm going to put it into drive now, just simple D. That's it, ready, and off we go. Now the Nio. A lot of press about this. This is the true Tesla competitor. This is the one that everyone's talking about. This is the one that it almost gets as much press coverage as Tesla, and I can understand why. It's an amazing car. This is a $60,000 SUV. It's a proper SUV, and it's fully electric, only available in China. So what's it like to drive? Let's find out. So one of NIO's taglines or USPs is this blue sky thinking that they talk about, and I can kind of see where they're going with that. This is all about thinking differently about the car, thinking differently about thinking differently about how everything has been done before and what should be done for an electric car. And they've gone for a very restrained, minimal aesthetic. I really like how this car looks, especially from the front. It's very aggressive. The back looks a bit Toyota-ish, but you know, we can forgive that. And they've gone very calm with everything. I feel serene in this car. They haven't gone overboard with badges and stickers and all these buttons and I need this, that and the other. This is simplicity at its best, and it is a pleasure to drive. Now this car has a 67 kilowatt hour battery, good for about 350 kilometers range. In Shanghai I think that's pretty accurate, because you only get to about 40 to 60 kilometers an hour on average, you know. And so I'm not distracted when I'm driving. A lot of these other cars, these screens aren't very clear and I don't know what's going on, but here I've got my heads up display telling me my speed, and this has got my kilowatt hours and how much range I've got left, the song I'm playing, and that is it. And this screen here has got my sat nav. So it's very thought out, and it's all about making that driving for the driver a simple and relaxed experience. This isn't a luxury SUV after all. You don't want, you're not really that bothered about speed, although this does do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.4 seconds, which is very rapid. We like rapid, but you don't feel the need to do it in this car. There's not a lot of point. Now, this is a heavy car. This comes in at 2,500 kilograms. So that's heavy. I mean, there's a lot of batteries in here, and you do feel it. It feels like quite a heavy car. It also feels like a blimmin' massive car. Driving around Shanghai, this is one of the biggest cars around. I've driven it into a few parking spots today, and it is a little bit tricky because it's a big car. Shanghai does have some quite tight streets and quite tight parking spots. So, is it right for city driving? I'm not really sure, but for highway driving, it's fine. I drove it here. It's got lane assist, so if I wandered out of my lane, it would vibrate the steering wheel, and it comes up with these orange lights on my mirrors, which warn me of danger nearby. So, I mean, that's very well thought out again. But there's nothing distracting in here. This is all about enjoying the journey, being very comfortable, and being very green as well. It's a little bit bollocky, isn't it? Now, I have to say that I am a massive fan of NIO. I like everything they've done. They thought about their showrooms. They've got this experience centre where you can go inside, you go upstairs for a cup of tea, coffee, fruit juice, gin, whatever, but it's a very nice thought out space. You can go in and try out the cars there. I would say it's probably more enjoyable than a Tesla showroom, and it's more well thought out. All of their branding is very on point. It's about blue sky coming. This is the future of driving, and a lot of the development work that NIO are doing right now is towards AI and autonomous driving. So as you can see, turning circle is not the best in this because it's such a massive car, but very light steering, so it makes easy work of it. I've got my camera on the back here, which makes it clear where I'm going. So back to drive. Nice simple control, that just flick it backwards and forwards. Very, very, very impressive. And in terms of the drive, it feels very well planted. I mean, it's a heavy car. Again, I don't want to use the word smooth, but of course it's very smooth. And dynamically, it's not quite as sharp as perhaps some of the other cars that I've driven, but again, that's not what this car is about. It's about that luxury driving, cruising along, maybe listening to your Frank Sinatra records, just enjoying the journey. It's not about, going off-road and crashing through things. It's just for gentle city driving, and I think this is a very good competitor for most SUVs out there today, especially with its range. This is actually the Founders Edition, so the range of this is 350 kilometers, whereas I think some of the newer ranges, and the ES6 have a longer range. But I mean, this is fine for city driving, charge up on the fast charger in 30 minutes. So interestingly, this car was developed with Tata, who helped develop the drivetrain, and Tata, of course, own Jaguar Land Rover, and of course have done the I-Pace. Whether there's been any cross-pollination, I don't know, but this car does use Bosch motors. It's got Brembo brakes on all four corners, so that's very well thought out there. So visibility is pretty amazing here throughout all the car. I've got massive windows, I've got my big roof. Sorry, so concentrate when I'm reversing. I've got my big roof window as well, which makes it very clear. One criticism I would have is that this driving position isn't the most comfortable, but I am sure I could adjust that to make it better. But in general, the seats do have some support, not much side support, but I'm not racing around Le Mans, so I'm not too fussed about that, to be honest. The seat is very squishy and comfortable. Oh, there's a big lorry coming. So this is the problem. This car is very wide. It's like truck width. And you've got to be super careful because, it's not my car. And I think with a car like this and the range of 350k, and that's a pretty accurate range, like we did around 150k this morning and the battery has gone down by 150k. Whereas I found, oh my word, sorry, Whereas I found on the BYD and the SAIC, the Row or the Rowway, that battery accuracy was not very good. It was not clear at all. So I'm very happy that this is fairly accurate. Currently using 10 kilowatts of power and doing 40 kilometers an hour. But a lot of people in Shanghai, they've actually sold 16,000 of these in the last almost a year now. For a new car company, that's not bad. Obviously, I think they want to have sold more, but not so easy. So the unique thing about all these Nios is that they've tried to get rid of battery anxiety completely. So what they've done is set up the battery swapping stations, where you drive into it, get out, the battery gets taken out the bottom of the car with a new fresh battery installed, and you're good to go within a few minutes. So almost completely eliminating range anxiety. And they've got these battery stations all the way up to Beijing, so you can drive from Shanghai to Beijing, about 1,300 kilometers now, without stopping for charging or anything like that. And that's really unique. It's the only EV manufacturer who does that. And then stop the drilling. And then on the shorter journeys, say you get stranded somewhere and you've got very little battery left, you've actually got these Nio Power, the vans. It will come out to you. It's got a massive generator in the back, and you plug in your car to the van's generator, and it gives you that rapid charge, 30 minutes, 80%. And that's a completely free service. So if I got stranded out here now and I didn't have enough battery to get home, I'd give them a call. They'd come out, we'd charge up, I'm good to go. Battery back to 80%. Now obviously, that kind of, if those vans aren't electric, it kind of makes it a little bit pointless. I think they might be electric actually. But again, they're thinking outside the box. They're doing something that no one else has done. They're brave enough to, and have enough capital to be able to do that. And they're pushing the boundaries. And that's what I like about Nio. They're not afraid to try new things. And this is to get rid of all those concerns that people have, range anxiety, I can't live with this car, etc., etc. This car just gets rid of all of it. It's completely gone. I don't have range anxiety because I can give them a call. And then I can get all the way to Beijing, and they're building this supercharging network in China with these battery swapping stations and the fast charging units. So I've got no problems going anywhere. This is almost an anywhere you can go car. The car's got a dual motor and it's all-wheel drive, and it puts out about 650 horsepower, which is ridiculous, really. It gets you from A to B sufficiently, but obviously I don't want to be doing that. I think it can drain the battery in about 30 minutes if you're really hammering it down. But it's not really for hammering down this car. This is for wafting around the city, and it does wafting very well. Super comfortable. And the body is completely made of aluminium, as is the chassis, so it adds a bit of lightness, even though it's still 2,500 kilos. But it's all about that waftability, except on these bumpy roads. And again, we're a bit too wide, and there's a massive truck coming. So if you put the foot down, yes, it's very fast. Again, fast enough. All these electric cars are very fast, even though they weigh 2,500 kilos. But I don't think this would be particularly good off-road. With the low-profile tyres, it's never gonna go very far off-road. I wonder if those Nio vans would come out and pick you up if you drained your battery off-road somewhere. It's a bit noisy when you're going over those bumps, but that's because the tyres are very low profile. Here we go. Bump, 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 bump. Not particularly comfortable, but then this isn't a particularly good road either. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the NIO ES8 review. I've really enjoyed driving this, finally. Let me know your comments below. I love to hear from everyone, and tune in again next time for another electric car review. Thanks, bye.